Hey guys, glad you could join me tonight. It's election eve. It's November 2nd, 2020. Uh, election eve. Hopefully, all are having a good evening tonight. I'm waiting for a few people to pop up here, but we'll just go ahead and get started. I know it's a rather brisk day. Winter kind of showed up yesterday in central Ohio where I live. We had a little bit of snow and all that kind of good stuff. The temperature started dropping. Um, Tyler's not going to be joining me again tonight as usual. I'm just glad I'm able to get done at a reasonable time tonight, pull off a quick deal with it being the election eve. So, well, there's Dave Bowers just popped up, and somebody else too that hasn't been announced. Anybody who comes in tonight, make sure you guys all comment on where you're at. I'm sure Dave is sitting at this hacienda. I'm out on the eastern seaboard tonight. It's rather brisk. I think it's in the low 30s at a minimum right now. The wind's been howling all day today. It's just my transit day out here to where I'm going to be tomorrow. If anybody flags me down, sees me in the Evans Cattle Company deal, shoot me a text message or something like that. Good luck finding me on the back roads where I'm going to be. But anyway, just glad to see some of y'all are tuning in. There's Robert Green. Kendall, there's my buddy Kendall. And Jack Preston, 50 degrees in Wisconsin, where he's at tonight. I'm actually in southeast Pennsylvania. I'm not too far outside of Baltimore, Maryland. It was a rather windy, rough day today getting out here to where I'm at, where I start my day off. I'll start off somewhere down along the Chesapeake Bay and do my deal, dodging road apples and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, first thing I want to talk about tonight, it's election eve tonight, and those of you that are tuned in, those of you that are at home tonight that haven't voted, make sure you get out and vote. I'm not going to throw politics into it, but the way I've always said about it, if you don't get out and vote, you don't have a right to bitch and complain. So, if you don't cast your vote or ballot, whatever you want to call it, you don't have a room to stand on. You don't have a right to complain or nothing else. Your right starts whenever you go cast your vote. So always keep that in mind. The other part of it is, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, who you vote for. You're still going to be a friend of mine. Might have our differences, but we'll just leave it at that. It's what you believe in. So you've got to vote first with your conscience, second with a little bit of common sense, in my opinion. I mean, everybody's idea of common sense is always a little bit different as well. What's sensible to one person may not be to the other. We've all got our differences and everything like that. So don't let politics get in the way of true friendships. It's the first thing I look at. I've got friends with a lot of varying opinions, and a lot of times those varying opinions, if you really sit and think about it, your opinions aren't that much different than the other person. It might be one thing that might open your eyes to the way you look at it and be critical of yourself. So there's nobody perfect out there that's running for any particular party or any office whatsoever. I know firsthand. When I was in the military, I was fortunate enough to serve for an organization called White House Communications Agency. It's the first time I ever talked about my military or anything like that. With my past, we were basically glorified roadies. So hats off to all them men and women that are wearing a uniform right now, that are the behind the scenes people, just like those of us in the trucking industry, behind the scenes people in the transportation world. Well, the communications people, they're sitting out there doing their deal wherever the president goes, vice president or whatever. It's not a political job. It's not a political appointee job. It's actually a pretty interesting deal and an honor to be assigned to that military organization, for lack of better words. So if you get a chance, take a look at who they are. Google White House Communications Agency. It's actually pretty neat. I did it for 7 years, from 1987 to 1994. I was on the campaign trail between Reagan and Daddy Bush, and then Daddy Bush leading into the Clintons, and then did some stuff during the Clintons. And it's, like I said, it's not a political job. It was all about providing communication support for the commander-in-chief, first and foremost. So kind of an interesting deal. saw a lot of the world, made me appreciate things a lot more, what we've got to offer in our country, as well as what we how great a country it really is, you know. And it's our job as citizens to make sure we keep this great country that our forefathers left before us, and you know, try to keep it alive, as well as in remembrance of the men and women that gave their lives too. You know, I mean, they went off not knowing if they were going to come home, these faraway worlds, lands, and everything else. So there, that's about as political as I'm going to get when it comes to that. So just make sure you get out tomorrow if you haven't done it already. Get out and cast your votes tomorrow if you haven't done it. Early votes or anything like that. But anyway, really, what I want to now, we kind of want to shift gears a little bit. Over the weekend, I was kind of following another page that I follow, and we need to be really vigilant when we're out here on the roadways here for the next week or two or whatever, especially the next few days. There were reports out in Illinois of sandbags getting tossed over overpasses out in the state of Illinois along I-72. I believe it's out around Springfield, Missouri. So just make sure for your own safety, as well as those around you, that you're paying attention to what's going on, especially on overpasses, congested areas. You know, there's a lot of people up to no good whatsoever, especially kind of the cities and what have you. Over the weekend, I believe there were some riots in Philadelphia, and law enforcement was getting attacked. Not a real happy person when I find out law enforcement officers are getting attacked for doing their jobs. You know, we're not the ones that are having to make a split-second decision on what they've got to do. It's them trying to protect the public. You know, we're only hearing probably a part of the story of everything that we hear and see on the news. So just to pay attention to what's going on out there, you know. And it's especially in this time that we're in right now, probably starting tomorrow, especially if things don't go the way some people want them to go. You know, things could get rather ugly. So just be on the lookout for those around you, as well as people acting and driving kind of goofy out there on the road. You know, our life depends on it. America's well-being is best served by us being safe out there as well. I've also heard reports today on a radio talk show that there were military convoys kind of on the move in the Midwest, east and west along the I-80 corridor. So kind of be on the lookout for that. You know, maybe some things going on under the cover of darkness and what have you that's going to could mean a lot of safety and what have you. So, you know, try to stay out of the inner cities and everything else. So Michael Peak, there you are, buddy. Good to see you again. Another one of the loyal followers here tuned in. He's traveling toward Birmingham from Gary, so definitely be safe out there, Michael. But I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. You know, you never know, especially when you get into some of these cities, things have been known to be a little bit rougher areas. Never thought I'd see that happen in this country. I mean, going back to a little bit about what I was talking about with when I was living in D.C., I got sent into L.A. back during the riots. I don't know, what was that, back in the early 90s, late 80s, when the riots happened in L.A. And it's things you never think that you're going to see happen in this country. You always think that, wow, you know, you only see this on the news overseas. Well, what's overseas to us, you know, in Europe or Asia or China or something like that. So, you know, it just seems like our way of life has just become more and more getting stood on its head. And you know, just pray for this country and pray for everybody out here that's, I guess, doing their jobs. You know, that's what it boils down to. We're out here just trying to make a living and do what we love to do, whether it be on the road, the jobs that you have, like my buddy Kendall that's tuned in. I know he works in a fab shop. You know, it takes all of us out here to make all this stuff go around, and we need to remember that no one job is any more important than the other one. So, you know, kind of take that into consideration. You know, this whole essential worker thing and frontline worker thing is just got so blown out of proportion. I mean, everybody's job is essential. That's how we feed our families. That's how we provide a service for people. That's what it's all about. That's what built this country. So I just figured I'd throw that 2 cents worth in there too. So anyway, this year I know has been really rough, truck show wise and everything too. I was fortunate enough, those of you that know, probably saw back, I don't know, what was it, back in September, late September, Dave and I, we were fortunate enough to go to a truck show. Excuse me, it was a protest for cystic fibrosis. Truckers for Hayes. It was really a good time. Ran into some of my friends. One that I've met through the magic of social media, and two, through this format and what have you there. So hats off to people that follow the show so closely here right now, of which one he's commenting right now. He goes by Peak Miguel. It's Michael. He came and looked us up while myself and Dave were out there, as well as Sharon from Pure Country Livestock. Looked us up and really had a good time. It's what this industry is all about, the brotherhood. And once again, hats off to the guys out there in Millhall that put that deal together. I think there was around 300 trucks, and had a really good opportunity to fellowship with some of our favorite drivers, or not favorite drivers, all of our drivers are favorites, come on. But some of the drivers we had never ever met, it was family that we hadn't met yet, I guess is a good way to put it. So anyway, which I guess that'll lead me into a little bit here. I got to give a shout out to Davy Crockett Travel Center down in Blytheville, Tennessee, off of exit 26, the Davy Crockett TA. Make sure if you're ever down in that area, you stop in and give them a howdy and say hello and thank them for helping support Chrome and Steel Radio, full service truck stop. I've yet to hear anybody complain about going into the Davy Crockett, so make sure you stop in there and support them. They're actually just a franchisee TA down there, so stop in, say hello, get whatever you need in there. Also, Jack's Chrome Shop. Make sure you give Dave a call at Jack's Chrome Shop, full service chrome shop. I know he's working on his K100 in there. I saw a little bit of a video clip, so give that a check out, shout out. I think if you speak nicely, probably get a special on some stuff like that. I know he's working on some stuff for Michael. Some what's he getting? Fuel step or battery box covers and stacks and some other things. And also, while we were out there in Millhall, had the fans of the trucking history stuff, the culture of trucking stuff. Met some very interesting people that were kind of pioneers in custom trucks and what have you, that were building custom trucks clear back in the 70s. If you go back the history of the Marmon truck on YouTube on Jack's Chrome Shop, there's a couple of trucks that were featured in there. A couple of Marmons. One of them was a Marmon cab over that was a motorhome, a big white motorhome that a guy had built. He come over and he said, "Oh, that was my truck you featured," and everything like that. He's out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So if you get a chance, kind of start following some of the YouTube stuff that Dave and Maddie have worked so hard to put together. So I guess enough on the sponsorship stuff, other than make sure you check out Bill Weaver Music. I know he's back out on the road, busting his chops and everything else. He's back out on the road. I believe he's pulling cars or something like that, or truck chassis. That's what it is. So give Bill Weaver Music a like and give them a follow, as well as Hopes of Ours Daily Dose of Hope. That's what it is. It took me a second. So, but anyway, just thought I'd pop on here for a few minutes, say hello. Tyler is off to college now. He's actually going in residence to one of the off-site Ohio State campuses, majoring in animal sciences. He, with the type of learning that they're doing right now, he comes home quite a bit. So kind of interesting seeing him go from being a high school student to a college student now, I guess is a good way to put it. I keep bugging him about coming on and helping out with the show, but he never seems to make time. I don't know why. I guess it's below him or something at this point. But anyway, Shout out to all my co-workers and everybody else back in Ohio there. Stay warm, stay cool. And everybody out on the road right now, like I said, everybody be safe over the next week, or especially the next couple of days here, once till this whole election fever calms down. And we'll keep you updated on anything else that's going on. And chrome and steel, anything we see that's dealing with road closures or anything like that, if we can verify it, we're going to make sure we get them up there and get it posted, especially for y'all that run out west. I know I-80 corridor out in Wyoming could be a rather rough out there, as well as going across Nebraska in the wintertime. Haven't been out there myself. So anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Y'all be safe, and don't forget to get out and vote if you haven't done it already. If you have, well, cross